My favorite memories are a lot of little secret memories that pop up along the way. And the first being the 1912 Town Hall, when I was a child and grew up seeing this magnificent old lady in all of its glory standing here on Salem Street. And I got my first driver's license here when DMV served as office here in this building. And there were many other memories along the way until I actually became a town employee. And had I not known when I was younger that I would be working for the town of Apex, I would be just overwhelmed. I just couldn't believe that was happening to me. So when I applied for my job, I first talked to the first manager, and I worked for 5 mayors and 4 managers. And they were all just different in their own way, their own fashion. We were on the new town hall on Saunders Street, and it was kind of cramped, kind of tight. Different departments, police, finance, planning, recreation, you name it, it was there. And we were just all tight. And plus, we had Wake County District Court that popped up that took space on special Fridays of the month. And we were just overwhelmed sometimes knowing we needed more space. And so when the plans came into view, my favorite memory was the approval of having a town campus on Hunter Street. And I was so excited about it, and I was excited for the council because I was seeing them move into future times that they had not planned to do. And all of a sudden, the people, they were all behind it. They were ready to see what was going to happen. And it like bloomed like a mushroom would grow out of the ground. And I was so excited because I said, oh, we're going to have so much space. We're going to have so much space. It's just going to be beautiful. And it was. And we watched from an old farmland down the road here, down the street. I call them roads in the country. It's streets in the city. But back in the day, they were roads. And still to think that we were going to have a big space where citizens could connect with the town clerk. And you know, I was really their source of contact forever, reaching the mayors and managers and a lot of the employees, because I worked in different administrative offices during the time. And it was just really interesting to grow with the town and see the history. And as the day finally came when here this 3-story town campus, town hall was in place, and the 2 that we had before kind of took a back seat. And even though they began to start planning to do things with those buildings, they still had a special memory in my heart because I had spent so many hours there, not only with the mayor and council, but the managers and the assistant manager and the finance people. I mean, it was like home. And then working in the police department too, I saw some bad and some good. I call it the good, the bad, and the ugly. It all came together. And then when we got ready to move into this magnificent town hall, it was just like happy days. Town employees came and they started shifting things out of closets, putting them in boxes, loading them in a truck, and carrying them over to campus. And I was almost afraid to let them go because those were the minutes in history that I'd been storing in tiny little shoe boxes in the closet in the back of the courtroom, which I kept them locked. You know, needless to say, I didn't want people to ramble and get into them and things get destroyed and misplaced. But they moved them on in, and we got there, and it took a while. But when I opened the door to that town hall and I saw that magnificent vault sitting there just waiting for me to put books on shelves and get them out of a box where they were easily ready to locate. And I decided, well, I've got to do something with these now that I've got them here. They expect me to do something. And so I archived all the minutes of the town back to the 1873 when the town was incorporated. And to have those minutes archived with the Division of Archives and History, that means that they'll be there for as long as they have them recorded. And the thing, that's history. You can't take history away. You can't change history. You can make changes to anything you want to, but the history is the history of the town. And it was just overwhelmed and overjoyed when I started putting those minutes in there. But I think the highlight of it all was when I went out on that 2nd-story landing and I looked down into that big atrium and I saw that magnificent town hall and this seal in the middle of that floor. I mean, when you look down, it just takes your breath away to think of all the years of history that's passed to get to where we were. And even now today, it's changed so much. But I will tell you that I was blessed and I was thankful for the job that I had. And the former clerk, Sonia Lumley, I'll mention her. For 20 years, she worked there in that town, and she and I were friends, not only at church, but friends, and we camped together. We watched children grow up together, and she was just such a sweet lady. And one day she said to me, Georgia, we've got an opening at the town. And I'm so thankful she told me about the opening at the town. And of course I applied for it and I did get it. And I was the third candidate. I was not the first choice. I was the third candidate. And the others had taken jobs somewhere else. And I'm thankful. I think that was an omen to me that I was supposed to have that job. And I had that job. And at the end of my retirement, Mr. Radford, Bruce Radford, our former manager, which was a wonderful guy, he actually had a surprise for me. He brought in the Tar Heel Traveler from WRAL, and I got to give him a tour of the town hall, the campus, and the community center, and the outdoor area in the back, the courtyard. I mean, it was just overwhelming, and he said he could tell in my voice and in my heart that I loved Apex, and I did love Apex, and I gave it all I had. So I'm really thankful, and the short little secret memories of the old town hall has brought me to the campus, and I know that someday down the road there's going to be even more to be built, and I'm proud that the town chose me, decided to educate me in government at UNC School of Government at Chapel Hill. For 16 years, I canvassed back and forth, taking classes, going to school and learning things and becoming a master municipal clerk with the town of Apex, and that was my degree, and I earned it in 2005. So it took a while to get there, but it was worth every minute, and I'm just truly thankful, and the opportunity to share that with you has been a wonderful experience. Thinking back in time, it was not just a one-time thing that made Apex home. It was a continuation of years when my parents shopped downtown, and we came downtown to buy Christmas gifts and groceries and hardware and clothing, and you name it, we found it. And I look at the shops today, and I look at the people that actually open those stores, how they continually strived to make Apex better, to offer and to give what you needed. They would look for it, and if they didn't have it, they would try to get it. And I remember going in stores like Bennett's Clothers and the Ace Hardware that was here during the years, and Poe Brothers Department Store, and Weston Auto, and Horton's Hardware. I mean, the stores on Main Street were just unique, and we had the pharmacy on the corner, and you could go in and you could get an orangeade and a grilled cheese sandwich, and you just spent time in downtown. It was a thriving area at the time. Growing up here was going to high school here. I remember one day I sneaked down to school and came to the pharmacy and got an orangeade. Of course, we got caught because we were told we were skipping school and we had to get back, and we did. But needless to say, it was an opportunity to grow a little bit along the way. And as you grow, you learn the importance and the value of what you had, but what you have now, what makes Apex so great now. And I have watched employees, when they used to hire employees, they would come to the town with not really a lot of experience. They hired people they knew because the town was small, and your area to reach out and find someone to work in a position was not as far and as advanced as it is today. But now there are people coming in with college degrees, experience in all the fields and the necessary things that makes Apex great, planning it, and all the examples that they set as town employees. They're striving to make this town better. They're striving to make it what it needs to be. And to me, being Apex, as I walk down the streets today, I can still hold in my heart those memories of all the folks that were there then. And now when I walk into the Rusty Bucket with Pam, or I go into some of the other shops and stores, their memories still there, but the new folks are trying just as hard, striving to make it what they want it to be. And that, to me, I think that that's the heart of the home, when the people that own the business and shops are trying to provide for you and trying to make it better. And I truly believe that they have that same feeling that maybe back in the 18 and 1900s, when these people were building and striving to make it better, these people are as well. And so Apex will always be home to me. I've traveled across the United States. I've lived in foreign countries. And I will tell you, there's no place to call any better than Apex as your hometown, and have that connection and the love that you feel for that town and growing up here and holding on to the memories of the past. When I thought about Apex's potential, I thought, what more can there be? I mean, here are the years that went by that we didn't have sewer, and we got the new sewer and water treatment facility, and how it has grown through the past years over what it was there when it first was built and constructed. Then I think about Jordan Lake with all the water, and there were so many saying, oh, we'll never use that water, we'll never drink all that water. I mean, you know, it's just too much. And I watched it grow, and I watched all the people that enjoy the fun and activities out at that lake that it has provided, and even the American Tobacco Trail as it goes through from the cities to connect through Cary and Apex and Jordan Lake areas, and how people have used that tobacco trail as bike riding, and it was just like a social gathering for people. And truly, Western Wake County is the #1 spot to have recreation. And I foresee it even growing more as the housing development is growing, the building business is growing to provide for us, and as the smaller shops may disappear, the larger ones are providing now. And I see it continuing to provide. I see restaurants that give us delicious food instead of the Hardee's and the little Dairy Queen that we used to have back in the days. I see people progressing in education. Their children are having a better opportunity in the schools here, some of the best schools in Western Wake County. And Western Wake County has provided just so many new opportunities. And I see even social gatherings of people when they gather together, and the skate park across the street, and the railroad track that led people, the highest peak on the Southern Railway. Well, we haven't reached the peak yet. We're still growing, and we're still going. And I think that the way the management and the councils of these towns have planned, and the planning that has gone behind it, has made a significant difference in Apex. And I continue to see and thrive for it to even be better and greater in the years to come. And I know that as I pass into another light of eternity somewhere, I'll be looking down smiling on this beautiful town called Apex, North Carolina.